Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. The first video that I think I've recorded in over 2 weeks. It's obviously went away and then ended up getting COVID whilst on the cruise, so I took another 4 or 5 days off. So some of the videos are definitely delayed, at least the last 5 or 6 team previews for the AFL Fantasy, which I'll get back into them now. It was a little bit annoying because I probably set the 12 p.m. daily release for each video, made it so that I would have to get up if I wanted to record a video for that sort of early date. I have to get up before the test match, etc. and stuff like that and record it, and I just never got around to doing sort of the pre-planning for those videos, as I didn't have any connection on the trip and stuff like that, as well as there was a lot of curveballs that came after the trip as well. So I never actually got around to fixing all that up until about today. But that should all be fixed. And now the next team preview that I do will be sort of a guide through how I'm looking at each team and how I sort of go through and look at each stats, and so it will sort of be not a planned video, but a very sort of a long video on how I look through and give you guys the pointers on which players are going to be good, etc., or sort of how I pre-plan for all those team previews. But anyway, this will probably be a longer video, just going through the end of my BBL SuperCoach, in which I ended up somehow scraping into the top 100, and you would have seen me almost I was almost tempted to put it away and not have to record any more of it, any more SuperCoach content when I was going away on the trip. I was something around 500 ranking by the time that happened, but luckily I got Wi-Fi at like 2 or 3 points during the trip and was able to make trades, and that helped me get up to, I think, 90th in the end, which was pretty good, and only like 500 points off the winner in the end, and he sort of ran away with it, it seems like. But anyway, before we get into this video, remember to like and subscribe. I'm good to see that my hotkeys are still working after all this time, and let's get into the video. So as you can see here, I have it up here. This is the team that I ended up finishing with. Let's make it a little bit bigger if it will work. There we go. So I ended up with Harper on the field in the end, and this was because I don't know if it was last round or the round before. I think it was in round 8 or something. I think I came back from the trip on the 13th or whatever, halfway through the round, so I didn't have time to, and I can actually probably search this up for you guys to show you what I'm talking about. So BBL matches, and we go to round 8. You will see we started off with this strikers game, and I believe I had a match short 88 that I wanted to take. Did I? Or what did I? And I wanted to take someone's score as the VC, and something like that, and I think it was Matt Short's 88 that I wanted to take over going someone else, and so that's where I ended up going for that. I believe it was Matt Short. So I ended up needing to, and I believe it was after Philippi's 77 here, I also wanted to take Philippi's score as a bench wicket keeper off the wicket keeper bench line. So I needed a wicket keeper that was just not going to play, and I got back and we knew about the Sam Harper concussion, and I was just wondering if he wasn't going to play, and he wasn't in the Melbourne Stars squad. And then for the last game of for round 8, I brought him in as well as alongside. I don't know if I can bring up my trades in any way, shape or form from previously, but he was in for this round 8, which I had I think I had a shocker that round for round position. Yeah, you can see not the best round. That's mostly because of AJ Ty. But Sam Harper was brought in because I needed to take points. And then again, I got a 75 with McDermott, which was good enough for me. And yeah, wanted to obviously keep Sam Harper in that line. If McDermott had failed, I think I would have flipped Inglis on field. But then again, it was also actually locked in. If you look here, that McDermott played in the same game as Harper, so I was just honestly hoping at that point that McDermott didn't flop, else that would have probably cost me top 100 in the end, as I think top 100 I scraped in by about 10-15 points overall. We can actually look at that in a sense, and yeah, so you can see the winner ran away with it by 170 points. And if we go down here to 90th here, a clean 9,000 points, and top 100 was 16 points, and the top 111 was, I scraped in by 25 points. So yeah, really, really happy with that. And I probably wouldn't have got top 100, top 111 if the Thunder game, that last game, had been watched out, as I was basically had just the Thunder players. I didn't have any of the Renegades guys, who potentially Sutherland and some others were highly owned, so they could have potentially outdone me in that last game. So that was pretty crucial to not having them. McDermott, obviously, he provided a lot off the bench, and him alongside Chowdhury and some other guys were pretty good rookie selections overall. But yeah, so he was crucial in the back half of the season with a couple of big scores. I think I got him in for, if we look at his chart here, you'll see his scoring fantasy stats. You can see he had a 21, a 4, and 83. I think I had him on the bench for that one, but definitely the 141 I had him on field. The 17, I don't think I had him. Oh, I had him on field because I got locked out of that. That was one of the annoying ones, which almost cost me this top 100. Is I had to lock away Ben McDermott on field because I had him on field in round 7 when I did my initial trades, I guess. So so a lot of my round 17 was locked in for part of round 8 as well. And then I obviously had him for that 75. So he was on field for a good portion of his good scores. But yeah, just a really good pickup there. Matt Short, again, just providing week in, week out, basically. His lowest score for the round was a 10. Across the year, and other than that, he just provided huge scores and was pretty much a captaincy option. And I believe, off my maths now, I believe he's going to come in at around about that 319 or so K next year. So we'll see if that is that's basically going to be, is he a go fixture wise, basically from round 1, a guy at 317K, 319K, which will be interesting. You got to hope that he's got to have the double, because that would be hard to get him in. Maxwell, only 87 in the last round, but was a good, definitely gained a lot of points, and that would have kicked me out of the top 100 if I didn't go Maxwell in that game, as I don't think any of my guys outside of that were really captainable in the other games that had already played by the time that the Thunder game was finished, as all the Thunder players would have played, and they played against, in the final round, they played the Adelaide, so Short was also locked out by then. So it was only really my bench players that played after that first game of the round, other than Maxwell on field. Paul Walter was brought back because Lawrence went nuts with the 120, and so if I remember correctly, if I actually go to my, I can't find my trades, but I'm pretty sure they're on my Twitter account, so I'll just bring up that on my phone to find them. But if I remember correctly, there were just, I think, 3 Thunder guys bringing in, and then I got rid of, I believe it was going to be Philippi, Walter and Bartlett, but when I started to see the guys come back and start to really go strong with the like Lawrence going 120, etc. and stuff like that, I decided to bring back the Brisbane boys who had the last round bye, so that I could actually take their points. I'm just trying to bring it on field here. Just trying to bring it up. I definitely took a photo of it, so just trying to bring it up for you guys. Where is it? Okay, so I had Hoysen and Hardy were the guys that actually went out alongside Philippi, who remained out throughout the whole round, and he only lost, I think, 3 points to McDermott, so it wasn't the best trade out. McDermott, it was just all about getting the Thunder guys, which actually end up not working because they suck and they were only a single game round in the end because of the weather. So that's something I think next year, one of my big in my tips video is just watching out for the weather, and so there's definitely some tips that I can give you give you guys that I think a lot of people did fall sort of foul of or not sort of doing. I think one of the biggest tips for me is bringing in bowlers basically exclusively. I brought in Harper, Inglis, Hales and Sanger, I think, were the only guys that I brought in that were not that were only not bowlers, and they were mostly keepers as well that I brought in. So there was only Hales and Sanger that were batters only, and that's just because of the scoring model. But anyway, so we had Walter didn't play, Jordan 40, he got locked in basically as, well, no, he was there obviously, and I was always going to play him. I probably could have done a little bit better with the rearranging my side and having Sam's up in the bowlers, in the batters slot, and Chris Jordan in the bowlers, just to give me a little bit more flexibility, as having sort of these guys all four locked out here and only one locked out. He was a little bit annoying with trying to mess around with my guys, but it didn't end up mattering too much, as I got the Lawrence and the Stoiner score and Connolly 72. I was always going to play Hardy over Connolly anyway if Stoinis didn't go big, but still burning 40 odd points there didn't end up burning me too much. Alex Hales 53, he was huge with the bat in that first game, and he's one that is one of the more reliable batters. He averaged 46 in the end, which I believe was about 31st, 32nd overall in average for the whole year out of all the players. So he was huge in the end, and yeah, he's one of the more reliable batters that you can go for. Him and Lynn are probably the two most reliable batters, and that's just because they hit 20 very regularly, and they also have a huge strike rate. They're usually that 160 plus strike rate, which will give you that max strike rate bonus, and that's why they get their good averages, as well as Hales has been really profitable in the field. I think he took 7 or 8 catches across the whole year. If we look here, you can see here 7 catches across the 8 or so games that they played. I believe it says rounds played 9, but I'm pretty sure they only played like 8 games or something. So yeah, he was really, really good to have, and will be interesting to see what he's priced at next year. I haven't done those stats obviously, and we'll see what he is, but one that's certainly more reliable on the Thunder double out as their bowlers were not reliable at all. Mick Andrew or anyone like that, their fast bowling brigade was pretty poor. Obviously you had Sam's go nuts, but Mick Andrew, Hatcher ended up with a -1 as well, and I don't know if they brought any other fast bowlers in. But yeah, their brigade there was pretty poor. Inglis on the bench for 48, he didn't really matter. Lawrence for the big 120, didn't think he would take 4 for 35, but I don't really count him as a batter only comparatively, even though he doesn't have the bowler status, because I knew when he played for, was it Brisbane a couple of years ago, maybe last year, he did bowl those sort of wonky, with a wonky action, and I think the Stars did get better use out of him. And so I think he's sort of more of a batting all-rounder like Short, so he wasn't really a batter only. But I really brought him in because I thought he'd get going with the bat, but obviously didn't get going with the bat, but got that 4 for 35, which was, I think, in its own 95 points or something with the wickets, and then the dot balls as well. And then I think he got to, I think it was a 108 in the field or something like that with the ball in the field, and then something like 12 with the bat to get to a 120, which was huge, after repaying me after the 8 that he scored in the first game that I brought him in. So I brought him in the single game week in round 8 for an 8, so he averaged 64 in the side, but still, yeah, really happy with 64 across the two weeks, to be honest. Bartlett was just a good bring-in. I think I captained him for their double round, and he brought a 149, was it in, or something? So that was a really good captain against a lot of people had. I think Nessa brought in 210, so I didn't bring in Nessa that week, and that was probably a damaging blow. But Bartlett in, and he produced. And I want to just see Nessa quickly here. What's he going to be priced at? Because I have a feeling he's going to be a little bit unders. What's he priced at? He's going to be priced at 59 still. That just shows the way he was able to produce, I guess, with that 216 and that 68 to end. So yeah, would it bringing him over someone like I don't even know at that point. But yeah, probably a missed opportunity for me to bring in Nessa, but I didn't like his role at that point. He was bowling 2-3 overs and batting 7, and they weren't even getting down to 7 at that point because of tall Paul. So I didn't really like his role at that point, and that was the decision not to bring him in over some of the other. I think I brought in Kuhneman at the time over him, which was probably a bad call in that sense. But those are the types of decisions that can sort of make the difference. I mean, that was something like if we bring in Kuhneman's stats here. I spelt that wrong, didn't I? There we go. I think that's right. There we go. Kuhneman in that double brought in 55 or something, I think. So 160 points there alongside Ty's 130 odd points that I burned. Probably makes me not get top 10. And then the captaincy in those sort of things probably means that I don't get top 10. But those are sort of decisions, and I'm always going to pick a bowler over sort of a bowler that has a definite role over what Ness's role was. I think his role just flipped mid-season, which for those guys who brought him in was probably just was good for them, obviously. Then you have Daniel Sams, just didn't get the opportunity to do much, and yeah, he had a really good, brought him in for the 172, 63, then a 3, 36 and 18. Sort of poor end to the season, but at least he'll only be priced at 55, which if you actually look at it, started, was he going to start at? Roughly going to start at, again, probably that 179, I believe. I just need to double check that. So he, 55.2 times the... Yeah, he's probably going to be starting at around 170, 175k, somewhere around there next year, which is another gettable price for him. So will be interesting to see it, with the fixtures if he's needed round 1 or not, but we'll see with that. Chris Green, another guy that I brought in repetitively in the Thunder doubles. I think I did that twice, and yeah, he produced a little bit. Would have liked to have seen him get. He got 19, so 19 off 12, and then got out. So. If he got that one more run, he would have gotten like 26 more points. And 26 more points, I know it sounds so minuscule, but 26 more points puts me, or something like that, if he hits a boundary, then I'm getting towards this sort of 70th, 69, 70 range, which is even more, probably even more impressive. But yeah, still happy with him, and would have liked to have seen more output with the ball, but that was sort of, didn't have too much output against the Perth Scorchers when they played. I believe he had a 45 when he really should have had more than that on that pitch. Mick Andrew brought him in and he sucked, pretty much, simple as that. And then Sanger for a 39. He's going to be priced, I think, around that 130 range again. Sort of, they are usually around that same sort of price that they finish at roughly, but I think he'll be priced, I think it's, what the average, let's just see here, 39.3 times by 39.3 times by that number, and yeah, so price at 121, 122, and that'll still be a bargain there. For next year, Cooper Connolly 72 and Stoiner 69 decided to take the points over Hardy, which burned me another 50 points. So you can see right there that even there, thinking about it, the last 2 or 3 rounds, I probably burned somewhere close to 400 or 500 points right there in Stoinis over Hardy, Mick Andrew over like an Overton, or even just a Mick Andrew over like a Connolly. That was 68 points burned there, so that's already another 110. Not getting the captaincy right there, and then also Nessa not in for his double as well. That's probably 400 points right there. And then also McDermott on the bench in the on field in round 8 being locked out, rather than having someone like I think a Cooper Connolly produced in that round. I'm pretty sure he produced a 50 or whatnot, and he was not on field from in that round. So that's another 30 points, bringing it up to around about 400 points burned, with just some, not the smartest players, but some things that were unavoidable given the me not having access to the website, I guess, in the sense. But anyway, that's basically a rundown of what happened, a very, very drawn out rundown. And as you can see, I fell, what was it, 550 points short of the number 1 guy in James. And if we look at the leagues in a sense here, won the YouTube League as well as the Podmasters Cup, won that in the end by 70 points over Toby, the Phantom, Jake, and then you have Diabolical down at 8783. I'm sure he will be back. He made a couple of errors, and we all learn from stuff like that. And it was one that I definitely did turn to a lot, just to sort of confirm my overall thinking about a lot of stuff. And so yeah, you'll see me make a video on the sort of tips for BBL SuperCoach and how that sort of works, and what I've found has worked over the last couple of years, and sort of the statistics behind why I think that works a lot more. And then you have Insight. I think they had two guys in the top 10 and a lot of the top 20. 6 guys in the top 20 and then 9 in the top 30. And even in the top 100, they had 21 out of the top 100 guys, which just shows how sort of switched on a lot of the guys were. And then Wiki as well had quite a few guys in there as well. So that's sort of how I fared. I think I got knocked out in the semis of the Podmasters Cup, the Public League. I think I lost to guys that finished well behind me in them, which was quite funny in the end. Yeah, you can see overall rank of 5,200, but I just had a really bad week in round 8, so pretty much knocked me out of all of the finals. Having a bad week in the first week of finals, and then had an all right week in the second. But sort of anyway, that'll do. And another season down in the books for the channel. I hope that I was able to give you guys, whilst I was actually here, some good sort of tips on how to go with your trade targets and stuff like that, and hopefully next year improve on the 90th ranking and get inside that top 50, something like that, as I think I will be. I don't know if I'll actually be recording and producing videos for the over that sort of December range. I might come back midway through the season and sort of do almost the opposite of what I did this year with that next year, as I believe I'll be away again. But hopefully I'll be able to get some content out for you guys with regards to SuperCoach next year. But anyway, that is the video, and I'll see you guys back with the fantasy team previews tomorrow. Thanks, guys. Goodbye.